if you're getting ready to meditate, stop. Go grab your cat. I am going to give you 4 perfect reasons why you should have your cat with you to meditate, to calm your mind, and to soothe your nerves. So I'm going to give you 4 reasons on why you should meditate with your cat. But stick around with number 4 because that is specific to cat ladies. And cat ladies are who I focus on here. So let me dive right into this, okay? Meditation, as you know, is wonderful for decreasing your stress, calming your mind down. And it is also just wonderful in general to help you to feel better physically and mentally. So let's get into number 1. Cats can give you a focal point. All too often, we use the focal point of our breath. Now, I don't know about you, but I know and I have met and I have worked with so many women who have a hard time when it comes to meditating and focusing on their breath. They're told, just pay attention to your breath. And they start paying attention to their breath and they think they're breathing wrong or they're breathing too fast, or they're breathing too slow, and they got to modify it. And then all of a sudden they're told to do these breathing, aerobatics where they have to breathe in 4 and hold for 4 and move for 4. And it gets very uncomfortable. And I know this from personal experience because I absolutely hated that. And it wasn't until one instructor said to me, breathe as you breathe. And I'm like, oh, and I didn't have to worry about it anymore. Because then I felt as though, okay, I can just do this. But see, cats will give us that focal point. We can focus on their breathing. We can focus on their purrs. We can focus on their cute paws or their tail thumping. And because we're bringing our focal point to our cat, not only does it help us with our meditating, but it also brings in a little bit of that mindfulness. Now, the type of meditating I do with all of my clients is I use guided meditation, occasionally mindfulness, but I love guided meditation because, again, that gives you a focal point. You can always go back to their voice, so you always have a focal point to rely on, and you don't have to pay attention to your breath. Now, if you want to sit down and focus on your breathing, you should at some point learn that, but it is not what you need to start off with. Now, I want to know down below in the comment section if you have a hard time focusing on your breathing when you're meditating. And one of the things that is really important is when you start to meditate is if you're really super anxious, then I don't suggest you sit down and try to meditate right away. Do something to get rid of that charge that you have, that excess energy, that excess, feeling that you have from your anxiety, and get rid of that first, because then it will be so much easier to meditate. And I call these soothing strategies. And if you want to try one of them, then check up here. I'll put one in the link. Okay, let's move on to number 2. Cats can keep us settled. Oftentimes we'll meditate and we'll go, ooh, I got to turn the light off. And then we'll get ready to meditate. Ooh, I got to check that email. And if you sit down and your cat's paws are on your leg or they're on your lap or they're behind you and you're listening to them, oftentimes they will keep you put. They will keep you in place because you don't want to disturb them. And they'll keep you in place just long enough to get you into that meditative state. And then the meditation being so relaxing can keep you there a little bit longer. It's kind of like a trick. Cats, because they can keep us still and they can keep us settled, they also give us that focal point, which we talked about a moment ago. Now, I like to say that there are 2 types of distraction when it comes to meditating, internal and external. This is very simplified, but internal distraction is you have an itchy nose, your foot's falling asleep, and I'm going to get into that later, but external distraction is everything coming at you. It's the noise, it's somebody making dinner, it's the sound of a clock ticking. It's anything that kind of distracts you away from what you're doing, but everything comes at you. It's what you hear, what you feel, it is what you see. Now, one of the ways to decrease that external distraction, believe it or not, is to close your eyes. I know it sounds so simple, but 30% of external distraction comes from what you see. So you close your eyes and you get rid of a lot of that. And this is something you can do at work. You can do this not when you're driving, but you can do this throughout the day. Just if you feel overwhelmed from what's coming at you, close your eyes for a moment. You'll start to notice that external distraction lessens a little bit. Number 3, cats settle down your nerves. They calm you down. They calm your mind down and they calm your body down. Meditation in general is really good for calming your nerves down. It is really good for changing your neural pathway. So the things that used to make you anxious before are just a blip on the radar. But on top of that, your cat can also help you to decrease your blood pressure and your heart rate. And let me give you a little example of something that happened years ago. I'm stepping on a block over here because I'm short. I'm almost falling off the chair. There was a man who was brought in the hospital. I was a former nurse, and he was on our floor. He was a young guy. And at the time, the doctor happened to be on the floor at the same time, which was very rare. And all of a sudden, his alarm started going off. And we ran down to the room, and his heart rate was 30, which is super low. It's even low for somebody who jogs all the time. He was a long-time meditator, and he was meditating himself into relaxation. And the doctor looked at him and said, "Don't do that. Don't do that here. Don't do that now. Do that when you're at home. You're going to freak out my nursing staff. We want your heart rate to be up." But that's what he did. Because he meditated for so long, he was able to decrease his heart rate super, super low. I'm not expecting you to do that. That's what he did because he's been doing it forever. But I'm just saying it has powerful physical and psychological effects. Now, before I get into step number 4, if you want to try a tiny little meditation with your cat, then I have the Healing Power of the Cat's mini guide. It also teaches you how to connect with them and some things you can do to work with your cat to calm down and decrease stress. Then put down in the comment section the word cat or put an emoji there and I will send it on over to you. Let's move on to number 4. This is specific for cat ladies. Working with your cat brings you and gives you a bond with your cat. It helps you to bond stronger with your cat. You're sitting with them. You're hanging out with them. You're getting to know them. They're providing comfort. They're also providing a feeling of safety. Because when you close your eyes, if your cat gets up or moves quickly, then something is happening. They are so situational aware that they're almost like this little radar system that knows what's going on before we do. So it helps us to know that we can relax. And if there's a noise or something happening, the cat will wake up and the cat will react. So it allows us to go even deeper and deeper down into our meditation. If you love this idea of meditating with your cat, but you're not quite sure where to go, again, grab that guide. But also, right after you do that, watch the next video because I can bring you on a 5-minute meditation with your cat. It's perfect.